Alright, y'all, welcome back. This is your man A&J, and this is where you want to be for the best of pro wrestling and sports talk, the best of sports and pro wrestling talk. Doesn't matter which order you go in, this this is where you get the best of it right here. So, yeah, with that in mind, we're just going to jump right into things. We're going into sports right now, and of course, this is going to be a really, really interesting one. I hope a lot of y'all are checking in for this, but either way, we're going to start by talking about my man, former Broncos legend, Demonta Pecco, excuse me, I don't know how I was butchering that so badly. He's actually being brought in for the coaching, or to be a part of the coaching staff of the Colorado Buffaloes under Coach Prime. I mean, I gotta say, this is pretty cool to see. I gotta feel like I love everything about what Coach Prime has been doing in Boulder with this program, bringing in guys like T.O., Warren Sapp, and others that just have done nothing but literally turn the Buffalo's football program around for the better. And I gotta say, it's gonna be really interesting to see what role he plays, because I believe Warren Sapp is currently either the defensive line coach or he might be the defensive coordinator, I forget. But either way, I like this as a move, because you're just bringing in some of the best possible people that you could have to grow this program, as I mentioned before. I mean, Dion ain't no dummy. He knows what the hell he's doing. So a lot had to have gone into this decision. I mean, I don't know all the details. I just know that this was something that was reported, and of course, we'll probably talk about this in a later video, but this dude was actually a beast in the NFL for a long time. Played for a few different teams, again, as mentioned before, including my Denver Broncos, but I mean, I can't say it enough. I don't see how anything about this is at all a bad thing. It can only be good. I just look forward to what happens with CU, especially now that we've got Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders on their way to the NFL. It's about to be really fun, and of course, now that we've absolutely dismissed the notion of Dion ever going to the NFL, well, maybe not ever, but any time in the immediate future, this is something to look forward to for sure. I mean, that's just the only way that I know to look at it. Yeah. Go Buffs. That's all I'm going to say on that one. But anyway, it's also really good to talk about stuff going on in the NFL. Ah, man, I kind of stumbled into this one, I know. But this one I feel like is worth stumbling into. Seems as though Micah Parsons could get traded? Okay, maybe that's not what's in the plans for Jerry Jones, Steve Jones, and the Cowboys brass, but that's certainly what Chris Canty seems to think needs to happen. I mean, I don't really get it. It was real wild. Of course, he was talking about culture and everything when he said that. I don't know that I necessarily agree, though. I agree in the aspect of, if you want to trade Micah to save his better years for a team that's actually going to be able to make the most of his better years, which we're currently in the midst of right now, okay, maybe that happens. I just don't see that happening, though. I don't see a scenario where Micah Parsons is anything but a Cowboys uniform, as much as it really annoys me to say it, but I mean, you've literally got your franchise player that we're talking about here. Like, how did we even get here? Dude has some wild takes that he'd be making on his podcast and everything, and feel what you will about that, but the idea of actually moving on from Parsons, unless you're going to get a hell of a haul, I can't imagine that's a good thing, because you still got Dak Prescott in the fold. I mean, you brought in Brian Schottenheimer as the head coach. Oh, man. I don't know, maybe it is a better idea for the Cowboys to trade him the more I think about it. Jeez. I wasn't quite expecting to run right into that, but anyway, yeah, that seems to be the thing. I mean, wow. I'm just trying to imagine that scenario. Like, Especially because I don't think Micah wants to leave Dallas. At least he hasn't indicated as much. I just think that that's a really, really wild idea. So we're gonna move on from that. We're gonna get into the meat and to the heart and soul of the topic. I was gonna say meat and potatoes, but we're gonna call it the heart and soul because I can't see anyone with more heart and soul right now than NHL legend PK Subban. I'm putting over hockey, y'all. I'm putting over hockey, but not so much to put over hockey, but I'm putting this man over because this dude is calling out NBA stars. Like, actually calling out NBA stars, and I am absolutely here for this, given the things that he said, which pretty much include, you know, what are you playing for, just in relation to the load management, and really more specifically, the whole whatever you want to call All-Star Weekend now. I mean, it's just... I don't know any other way to look at it other than All-Star Weekend ain't All-Star Weekend anymore. It's really as simple as that. Because... talked earlier in the week about LeBron and how he decided to sit out the All-Star game. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of posts recently, a lot of clips where Kobe Bryant talked about the All-Star game being an obligation because the fans voted you in, which is clearly the case with LeBron. I mean, it's just really, really wild. I only bring all this up because PK was a part of a really, really, really incredible couple of segments on ESPN's First Take this morning where they talked about it. And of course, Stephen A. Smith himself has been calling a lot of people out in the NBA, a lot of players, in regards to how this has been going down. I mean, last year's game was just dog shit, if we're being honest. It really was. I can't look at it any other way other than I don't really remember much about it, probably because I'm pretty sure I think I fell asleep on that shit bad. Now, it was different this year because I'm pretty sure I was watching other stuff. I don't really remember what, but I had that on, and of course I was watching that, and was just trying to, I guess, sort of gauge my own feelings as far as what this new format was like. And in all honesty, going into it, especially on paper, I was like, what the fuck is this shit they're doing? You know? Like, why is this the thing? And really, I'm just going to cut right to the chase. You know, again, I can't say enough for this man calling these dudes out, along with Stephen A. Smith and so many others that have been calling all these people out. It's just... and sadly, it doesn't seem like calling them out seems to matter much, which I don't know what else to say other than that, but really and truly for me, I got to appreciate this because really everything with what's going on with the NHL, especially the little tournament that they have going on now, that's a tournament format the NBA should have followed. Having the different countries or the international players and then all-stars, however you were trying to do it, but if that's the way that you were going to do it, this is the way that we're seeing right now. I don't know where I'm trying to point right now. Either way, what they're doing with the NHL is what we should have been doing with the NBA All-Star game, if that's what we were going to do. I mean, I'm not sure how they were going to make it work the same way because it was very short notice, number one. But number two, and more importantly, a lot of people are talking about it. It's really, really huge stuff. And I did say in my previous video, in my wrestling talk video, where, you know, I was kind of distracted about stuff that I saw when I was going over things and I saw stuff out the corner of my eye on SportsCenter. What I saw was people at Staples giving LeBron the thumbs down. Like, I'm not sure if he was getting booed or not, but they gave this man the thumbs down. I'm like, wow. Maybe PK's message is really getting out there more than we realize. I don't know. All I know is that God bless this man for all the things that he said. And again, I'm not going into all to full detail about it, but if you saw it, if you can, try to check out the segment. It was really, really good. I think there needs to be more of it because there certainly isn't enough. And just given the way a lot of things with the NBA seems to be in shambles right now, I think it was a much needed conversation. So, applause to PK Subban and others for bringing it up and calling it the way that it is. I don't know any other way to look at it. I'm absolutely here for it, like I said. And I'm going to leave it at that for now. Y'all know what it is. Let me know what y'all think down below. Like, share, subscribe. Of course, this has been your time with A&J, and I appreciate you spending it with me.